Welcome to the Music of Art, a South Dakota collection. This is part of a series of original songs created by South Dakota artists, where the inspiration comes from art in South Dakota. Today's song is Everyday Magic by Erik Ritter, whom you may also know as P Skunk. The song was inspired by the art of Reyna Henderson and Amber Hansen. So before we talk about the song necessarily, first I kind of want the folks to learn a little bit about you. So Erik, let's start with you. If you can tell me your background as a musician, an artist, or whatever you want to talk about.
Sure. Erik Ritter, I grew up in South Dakota, then moved away for 20 plus years in the cities. And as Tom knows, we played music together in the cities under the pseudonym P Skunk and taught there for a long time. And then I recently moved back about 5 years ago and then got more heavy into playing music. And now I'm teaching at SDSU Visual Arts in the School of Design, teaching sculpture and drawing. And that takes up a lot of my time. But I'm trying to mix it together with the music and the art. So, like, for example, this weekend I'm at Four Winds playing and showing artwork in Sioux Falls.
Great. Let's go to you next, Reyna. A little bit about your artistic background.
Sure. Reyna Hernandez. I am a painter and a muralist. I've been working on community-based murals with Amber Hansen, who's the painting professor at USD, and on this call as well, for about 5 years now. And I really thought public art would be my calling, or mural making would be my calling, but I started doing it and I fell in love with it and haven't stopped since. So really excited that Erik was inspired by the work that Amber and I created together with the Vermilion High School students here in Vermilion. And just want to hear about his process of creating.
Great. And you, Amber?
Hi. Yeah, I like Raina said, I teach painting at the University of South Dakota and have been painting murals for many years, but have really enjoyed working with Raina and being a part of a team of muralists creating community-based art here in Vermilion and in the surrounding area.
Well, I mean, art brings together coyotes and jackrabbits. Who would have known? I didn't realize that would be the case, but here we are. Um, so some of our musicians have kind of gone general artists, some have gone specific pieces of art. I think, Erik, you kind of picked a specific piece of art. Can you tell us what you picked, and then maybe I'll have the artist explain the project a little more since it's a specific one.
Yeah, well, as we were going through it, you sent me a kind of a list of things and I just quickly glanced through it and then saw the mural and like that went immediately was the cream of the crop for me. And for my process, I didn't want to research it too much. So I'll have a lot of questions about what it means and your process from when you did it. But like, so I like to work in more of a intuitive way. So as I was, as the song was coming up, I was kind of remembering what I had seen, and that's how I landed on it, basically.
All right. So, Amber, Raina, do you want to talk about the specific piece of art, a little more background so people on the video are aware?
Sure.
Watching the video, I guess the people on the video are aware.
Yeah, well, we made the mural this past summer, 2023, with Vermilion High School students with their Gender and Sexuality Alliance. They wrote a grant to the It Gets Better project. It's like 50 grants for 50 states, or 50 states with 50 grants, can't remember. But and so each state got $10,000, like one school would be awarded $10,000 to do something with the community to raise awareness about LGBTQ issues or visibility. And Vermilion high schoolers got the grant for South Dakota. and they wanted to make a mural. So they approached Amber and I to help them with that process in the spring of 2022. So, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So who wrote the grant?
The Vermilion High School Gender and Sexuality Alliance, they were a newly formed club at the time. And they had been receiving some pushback from the administration and from officials at their school or the club, like they weren't allowed to hang posters in certain areas of the school. And we were originally going to paint the mural in the high school, but then they told them that they could not paint it in the high school any longer. So that's why it's on the side of a restaurant here in Vermilion, Cafe Brulee.
Yeah, and I did know about that. When I say like I didn't research too much, I was aware of the gender aspects and the politics of that.
Mhm.
Cool. That's even cooler. So they got the grant, and then how did they get a hold of you? Like, how did they know about you?
We've done a couple murals here in Vermilion. And so also one of the parents of one of the students in the club works in the political science department, which is just like down the hall from me. And so we're, somewhat familiar with one another. And
Okay.
so she approached us.
So did they come to you with a concept, or did you come up with a concept, or did you work together on the concept, or how did the actual art come together?
Want to take it away, Amber?
Yeah, we met with the students for once a week for about 5 or 6 weeks. And in those meetings, we invited them to share stories. We wrote poems together and drew pictures. So the imagery and the concept of the mural was inspired by the meetings that we had with the students. And in those meetings, they talked about their experience living in Vermilion, their experience forming the Gender and Sexuality Alliance and the challenges they faced. So it really was a space for them to connect with each other as a new club, but also to share about their experience with us and for us to share our work and new ideas with them.
Incredible. So are there specific images that came out of that process in the mural?
Well, a lot of it is collecting like ideas that inspire bigger themes and concepts. But one, I mean, specifically the hands coming down from the sky, these like glowing hands, and the digital background was inspired by conversations about using like video games to build new spaces, families, identities, and the important aspect of that in their lives. So that was kind of like one example of those conversations being translated into a theme and concept that could be uh, made more visible and amplified.
Yeah, I immediately was attracted to that. One, because I was a huge fan of the movie Tron when I was a kid. So that backdrop looks like Tron to me, if you're familiar with that first movie, Tron.
Mhm.
No. Anyway, so I would like visually that was cool, but also I see that as a metaphor of like manifestation in your own life, and uh positive thinking to manifest what you want, and like the so-called real hands connecting with the magical hands from like maybe another dimension, so to speak, really is similar to the way I view the world and what art is about. To me, it's first and foremost, it's about magic, whether it's painting, music, sculpture, film, poetry. It's about connecting with magic first.
I love that.
So that's a good transition. How did the song come about? You said you didn't want to. It sounds like you maybe tried to capture an emotional picture. Maybe is that a way to put it, and then go from there? Or
I'm always writing, and I was just particularly like energized to start writing something. And then as it was coming, I had the chords, and it was like just super easy. It was like, oh, the chords came together perfectly. And then I'll just vamp lyrics. And as I started doing the lyrics, I was like, oh, this is about the project. This is about the mural. And then I just went with that and kind of waited for the synchronicities. And the biggest synchronicity for me was a lyric where the lyric says, I used to see the world in black and white. So I finished the song and had that lyric, and then I went back and looked at the mural and I saw the black and white horses, unicorns, right?
They're horses with the shadows that are unicorns.
Yes, okay. Yeah, which is another like reality and then the magic beyond. Yeah. So when that hit, I was like, nailed it. This is right on the money. And the song literally, I mean, 98% of it was done in 3 to 5 minutes, which to me is always like a good sign that I'm tapped in, so to speak.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely noticed the black and white lyric as well. And like, we talk so much especially with that project about like binary, and like and what that does to groups of people who don't, who don't exist in black or white, like there's no like good or bad. It's like it all comes together. It all passes
All
through.
connected.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so we talk about that all the time. So when I heard that lyric, I was really like, oh man, I was like, this is awesome.
Cool. Yeah. And then like some of the other lyrics just were kind of things that were dropped during the week. Like I went into um a bar that week and the bartender said something like, you've got to skip in your step today. And so then that makes it into the song, but then it happens to connect to the other things that are happening, the concepts in the song. So I think that relates to, you know, energy, transfers of energy and how we're all connected.
Well, great. I appreciate this discussion and I appreciate your time.